All right, we're here today with Sheriff Dixon, and she's been a patient of ours at this office since about the middle of July. And she found us, I think, on the internet, yes?
I did.
Because you're in Alabama.
Right.
Okay. And she'd been recently diagnosed with Hashimoto's, and she was having a lot of anxiety and some other symptoms that she just wasn't getting any help with, seeing a conventional doctor. So she called and ended up coming into the office for a consult and became a new patient. So today is October 5th, 2011, so it's been a few months since we started care with you. So just give us a little background about what it was that brought you in and how you're doing today and how the treatments worked for you.
Well, I was diagnosed, I guess, back at the first of the year, and I started seeing an endocrinologist, and they put me on thyroid medicine, and you know, my understanding was this was going to take care of the problem that I was having. And I mentioned to him a couple of times about the anxiety that I was having. I think that was the biggest problem that I had, was I was having these sudden panic attacks that just kind of started coming out of nowhere. And, you know, my doctor just really kind of alluded to the fact that, you know, that could not be caused by the condition that I had. And so it was very frustrating because I just felt like nobody really understood. And so I believe it was in June, I had a very serious panic attack, and I ended up going to the emergency room. And it was at that time that my dad, he was there, and he saw, you know, what I was going through. And he was the one actually that got on the internet and really he spent several days researching, and he found several doctors all over the United States, and Dr. Lawrence, I think, was the doctor. You know, she was semi-close to where I was, but also there were more things on her website that talked about helping people with thyroid disorders. And so you know, that's when I immediately called, and I got lucky because she answered the phone when I called, and we ended up coming on a day when she was doing one of her seminars, which was great information, and it was just kind of a no-brainer that this was what I needed to do. I mean, I have to say that I've given up things that I didn't originally know I was going to have to give up, like drinking Diet Coke or Diet Dr. Pepper. Those were my favorites. I came in not knowing that I was going to have to give that up, but that probably was the easiest part of all. And you know, here we are a few months later, and you know, everything has just changed. My life has changed. I mean, the eating has been challenging, but you know, it's so worth the way that I'm feeling now. I mean, I've not had a single panic attack. I used to never leave the house without having Klonopins in my purse because I was scared of having I mean, that's what it was, like a sudden surge of energy or something that would just come to my head almost, and I would just, you know, I'd start perspiring, and I would just get so nervous. I would be trembling, and I was so afraid of that happening even out in public that I probably didn't go to some public places for fear of that. And so, you know, now I feel like I've gotten my life back. You know, there's still days where I don't feel like I have the energy that I still want to have. I still feel like I'm a work in progress, but just it's unbelievable the amount of progress I've made in such a short period of time.
Yes, you've done really well. And a big reason that you've done so well is because you took the information that we gave you and you actually acted on it. Because we can't do it for you. We can guide you and tell you what you need to do, but you've been a really good patient and done what you needed to do at home. Anything else that you'd like to add? Or what would you say to someone who's suffering with a problem like yours? And let me add here that as far as the Hashimoto's goes, one of the hallmarks of Hashimoto's disease is that you have both alternating hypo and hyper symptoms. Everyone thinks that, you know, when you have a thyroid issue that you're just going to be tired all the time. But anxiety, nervousness, inner trembling, insomnia, those are all symptoms that we see with people who suffer from Hashimoto's. Those are more of the hyper symptoms, but we absolutely do see them, and I just don't think a lot of people are aware of that. So you're like a classic case of someone who was having those hyper episodes. And the funnier, I should say not so funny thing is that even the endocrinologist said that there wasn't any way that would be part of your Hashimoto's. But I mean, the literature is there. You went on the internet and found the information that said yes, that is part of it. And we know clinically that's part of it. That's, that's the hallmark of Hashimoto's. So with that being said, what would you say to someone who was suffering with a similar problem?
Well, I would just say that you just have to realize that, endocrinologists, they don't know all about it, and I just expected that they would. And so you just have to do your homework, and you have to reach out to a healthcare professional that really understands and knows how to deal with this particular disorder. And then that's what I did, and I'm having to drive 3 hours to get the care that I need, but it's been worth every penny that I've had to spend. I mean, there's just nothing more important than your health, and I think that's why I've been so dedicated to following the rules, is because I know and I remember what it felt like to be. I just felt paralyzed in my own life, and so now I feel like I have some. I have my life. I'm going in the right direction, getting my life back. So just, if you're having these problems, don't give up. Look for a healthcare professional that knows what they're talking about, that has, I think one of the biggest things with Dr. Lawrence is that she did have testimonials on her website of people who were having the exact same problems that I was having. I think that was comforting to know that I was going to be treated by someone who was experienced with, what I was going through. So I think that's really important.
Great. Well, looking forward to the next 2 months or 3 months of care with you, because we'll go and re-update that once we've got you further down the line. But you've done really well, and thanks for the testimonial.
Thank you.